Thanks for staying with us. And Bill O'Reilly in the Miller Time segment. Tonight we have a special announcement at the end of the segment, so please stick around. But first, the headline for the D-Man tonight, Nancy Pelosi investigating Anthony Weiner, the sage of Southern California, joins us now from Los Angeles. So Nancy Pelosi, prosecutor, what say you?
Well, you know, there's a precedent here. She didn't go after Congressman Rangel, so I don't know how she's going to go after Congressman Fondle. You know, once you let the other guy slide on his iniquitous behavior, you kind of have to push it over to a committee here. She can't really brace the guy. But, you know, I think everybody knew something like this was coming. That's one thing about Weiner is I wasn't disappointed as I watched that Weiner culpa the other day. I remember thinking, this doesn't surprise me. He was a nasty piece of work before, and now he's a nasty piece of work after with some ibids.
What about, look, we have a poll at the end of the program whether the late night guys, and obviously this is fodder for the comedians, whether the piling on, we had Charles Krauthammer say yesterday, look, you know, enough's enough. You know, the guy's a human being. What about that as far as your business is concerned, the comedians and just like working the guy over? Does it come a point where it's too much?
Yeah, my heart's breaking because he was always such a nice guy.
I know, but he is a human being.
Billy, you just said to me, I ran a poll on Weiner. Am I not supposed to notice that everything in the world's a double entendre now? I'm sorry, I'm a comedian. If Pelosi wants to get rid of him at this point, she ought to send him a text and say she thinks he's cute and she'd like to establish a, private message with him. Send him a photo. I guarantee you he'll run down the hallway of the House of Representatives and dive out the window at the end of the hall like Bert Lahr after the Wizard of Oz scared him. He'll be going down that reflecting pole in a race with Usain Bolt, the gold medal winner from Jamaica, and he'll be beating his time. That's what Pelosi should do.
So like Karnak, what I'm picking up from Dennis Miller is not much sympathy. All right. Now, Sarah Palin, a little confused on Paul Revere. As you remember from the Midnight Ride, written by Longfellow, there were lanterns, not bells. And then NBC has run 3 stories about the governor's interpretation of Paul Revere's ride. And you say?
I like Palin. I'm not going to play that game. I'm sorry. You know something? Ask Anthony Weiner today. He's a genius. Ask him about Paul Revere and what he did. You know what he'd have to answer? Well, he rode through the night shouting, the British are arriving. The British are arriving. Everybody's got their own hang-ups. I find Palin to be clumsily correct sometimes. I find the left on 8 of the 10 major issues in our life to be brilliantly wrong, all right? So Palin, I like Palin. I'm not going to wade in and start doing an ibid on everything Palin does and saying she's a dunce. Listen, if Weiner's a genius and she's a dunce, where do I sign up for dunce?
Okay. Katie Couric, changing jobs. Now, the strategy by ABC, they hired her as a syndicated talk show host on television. It's obviously replace Oprah with her. She owns part of the program, very lucrative deal. Does it matter to you at all, Miller? Does this matter to you at all?
Well, listen, there's another example. I'm saying Palin can't win. Katie Couric came in and she took those ratings down the Marianas Trench. Now, she walks away and she's Margaret Bourke-White. Palin's an idiot, Katie's a genius. But the simple fact is she crashed the Tiffany Network's newscast. Now she's going to go up against General Hospital. She's going to crash a show where every second character's named Tiffany. But she's never going to get excoriated for it because she's on the wrong side. She's on the right side. Palin's on the wrong side. So
you know what would be fascinating if Sarah Palin doesn't run for president. I would, if I were another network, maybe Fox Broadcasting, I'd sign her as a talk show host and put her up against Couric. A little battle there. Wouldn't that be interesting, huh?
Well, you know, I always like a cat fight. You know me, but that's where I'm Weiner-like, I guess you could say.
So we have a theme that is emerging in this
I don't know, Billy. Have you not noticed that everything on the planet Earth now is a double entendre for that situation?
Look, I'm trying to stay out of this thing. I mean, we had an interesting top of the program here where I think the liberal movement in America, which depended, at least on television, Weiner was their point man. He's gone. They don't have anybody to replace him. And so there are bigger stories than just him.
So you're saying Weiner?
I'm not saying anything, Miller.
Ran a poll,
I'm not
and he's the point man.
saying anything.
All right.
All right?
I get it.
I'm not saying a word. All right, now
and
Miller and I...
He's in charge of their message.
I'm not going to let you do this, Miller. I am not letting you do this.
All right, I apologize,
right.
Tony. I'm up at night. I can't sleep. I hope you pull it all together.
All right, fine.
Devastated.
Miller and I have an announcement to make.
What's this?
August 20th, the Bolder Fresher Tour begins, Westbury, Long Island, Saturday night. Miller and I on stage. It's going to be, what is it going to be, Miller? You pick it up.
Wait a second, Billy. You're telling me you and I are doing a live appearance at the Westbury Theater. How do I get ducats?
You go to BillO'Reilly.com. We'll put you right over there.
Wait a second.
You didn't know about this, Miller?
I'm not going to miss
You didn't know about any of this?
Miller and O'Reilly? I need tickets. Give me 2 in the front row. No, not next to Weiner. A couple seats down.
I knew it. We're never going to get away from the guy. Now, Miller, you got to behave out there, man. You can't be going crazy out there, all right?
Billy, walk softly, carry a big stick. That's my... Wait a second. That's wrong, too. I can't get
by
out
August, that'll all be gone, ladies and gentlemen. There'll be fresh material. So Miller and I will be hitting the road. And Long Island in August, good place, Jones Beach. Come on in from anywhere in the country. We're going to have a great time. And this should be a lot of fun, Miller. I'm glad you're on board with this.
Looking forward to. We're the new Rowan and Martin, baby.
All right.